These four skills will make you the most dangerous person out there. These skills will not only help in your content and business, but also in your life. Doesn't matter what your niche is, you need this skill to stand out in the battle of the business as well as the battlefield of the life. Number one, thinking. काफी लोगों को लगता है कि सोचना एक एबिलिटी है जो हमको ऑलरेडी आता है कि हम सोच तो सकते ही हैं, बट इट्स नॉट ट्रू. You may think, but how you really thinking? How do you think effectively? That's a skill you must acquire. But sadly, I think no one talks about this. You know, there is a book, Think and Grow Rich. Have you ever wondered कि वहाँ think ही क्यों लिखा है? Why didn't the author wrote work and get rich? It's about think and get rich because there is a skill which is thinking, which we neglect. First thing you have to do is observe what's happening around yourself. आसपास देखो कि क्या हो रहा है, और फिर उसको देखने के बाद, उसे ऑब्जर्व करने के बाद देखो कि कौन कौन सी चीजें तुम्हें प्रॉब्लमैटिक लग रही हैं, यानी कौन कौन सी चीजें प्रॉब्लम के रूप में तुमको नजर आ रही हैं. एंड दिस कैन बी एनीथिंग, your personal life problem, any political problem, any society problem, your student life problem, it can be anything. Now focus on what? How this problem originated. What basically means the origin of this problem. If you have any relationship problem, so how this problem arise? Go to that moment where everything started happening. If it's a political problem which you are observing and you are claiming that no minister is paying attention to this specific problem, and you are observer and you are a good thinker, you thought about it and you found a problem. So this is your responsibility to check and to know the origin of that specific problem. But here a question arises that how this helping me to think? You are already thinking a lot of things when you are doing these things. When you are observing, you are actually thinking. When you are figuring out which things you consider as a problem, you are thinking. And when you are going to the origin of that problem, you are thinking. And I'm not saying that you will do it easily, but when you will start doing these things, you will start thinking. And now another question arises, Shishir, I think in a day a lot. I think about if I want to do this, if I want to do something or not, I think about it. When I want to go out, I think about it. So I am a thinker. No, you are not. These are the specific things which we all think. But when you think about a problem, you critically think about the problem in different phases with different perspectives. Now, many people can say this is a problem, but not many people will tell the origin of the problem. And now here is you who is thinking about the origin. And I'm not saying that on the very first day, on the very first moment, you will figure out the origin, because it's not that easy. But what I am saying is you are on the path on acquiring that skill by figuring out what's the origin of the specific problem. Then focus on how it's affecting people and how it can be solved. Affecting people. Now you have to know the reasons why these people are facing this problem and how this problem is affecting them. And you have to know that how the people are responding to these things, to these problems. And many times when you are critically thinking about these things, you will realize that people are not even responding or reacting to that specific problem because they don't consider it as a problem. They don't even know that this is the problem they are facing. And you know the reason? Because they don't think. And I'm not saying it will happen in all the cases, but it happens many times that people are not reacting or responding to a specific problem just because they don't know it's a problem. It's a problem they are facing. And there is you figure it out that this is the problem the people are facing. And now imagine a scenario where you are standing and you are telling to the people, this is the problem you are facing. And now people are realizing, oh damn, I know this. I think I never thought about it. This is the problem I'm facing. And now you are becoming a thinker. That's why thinking is a skill. That's why it's not a thing that everyone has. But the people who has these skills, and many people do have who are successful, now it's time for you to acquire it by doing these things. And these four skills are interconnected with each other. These skills are not four different skills. These are interconnected. These work as a team. These four skills work as a team to make you the most dangerous person or to make you stand out in your business and content. How it can be solved? Now, this is the question that you must answer or you must think about. Because काफी लोग बस प्रॉब्लम बता सकते हैं बट उनका सॉल्यूशन नहीं बता सकते और दे आर जस्ट देयर टू कंप्लेन अबाउट डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम्स एंड इफ यू आस्क देम व्हाट यू थिंक हाउ वी कैन सॉल्व दिस specific problem, so they don't have any answer. They are just there to complain and criticize. You know, there are a lot of things government does and we as a citizen complain about it, and that's good. We should criticize and complain so that our government do more effective thing. But here's the question that what solution do you think should be implemented? Can you think like a political thinker, or can you think like an entrepreneur, or can you think like a small business owner, or can you think like a writer, or can you think like an author? Can you think like citizens? Can you think like you? Because now you have a different personality. You may think very differently from others, and that may really help society or your business or your content. That's why thinking how the specific problem can be solved becomes so important when you are learning how to think. Now, it's not easy to find the solution of the specific problems you figure it out, but it is worth doing. It's worth thinking about the solution and forming your opinion on the things, because then you can ask questions, the right question, to the leaders, to your mentors, who are great at what they do, who can help you find out the better solution. You can ask the right question and you can reach to the answer. You can reach to the solution, and once you will reach there, everything will be changed. People will love you. You will make a strong impact on the society. And when it comes to money, of course, you will earn a lot of money if you're thinking like this. It's easy to say like this in front of camera, or from your behalf. It's easy to listen on a YouTube video these things, but it's really hard to do. It's really hard to it's hard to see that problem which people are facing. It's hard to find that solution, but it's okay. It's worth it. Our objective here is not to find the right answer or the right solution. Our objective is to think, is to train our mind to think critically, to observe critically, so that we can put the right question to ourselves, to our mentors, to our leaders, to get the right answer. When you will think about this, you will come across few questions. For example, who are responsible for these problems the people are facing? And many times people themselves can be the reasons of some specific problem they are facing. But what you think? Now here is everything revolves around you. I'm not asking that this leader thinks about this specific problem, or this entrepreneur says about this specific problem. What you say? Is your answer influenced by others' leaders, or it's authentically you thinking different things? Now, this can be a bold move, or you can say it's really bold to think differently from others, but it's worth doing. It's worth asking, even if it's your question dumb, even if you feel like I am just a dumb person, it's still worth it to think about different problems and finding solutions. And now here is the question: who are responsible for these people, for these problems? Figure it out. Think about it. Now every time you will think about it, there are different questions that comes in your mind, and you will keep thinking. And that's what a real power is. What's your role? What's your role in this specific problem? Are you part of it? Now, here's the question you should ask yourself, that if there is a problem, so there can be possibilities that you are also part of it, and how you are responding to that problem. And have you ever realized that this is a problem before thinking critically? Now, here is the few things we thought about. That's what you have to keep thinking and thinking to find the answers. And I guarantee you won't find answer that easily. But if you get in the habit of thinking, you may find the right questions. And that those right questions will lead you to the right answer someday. Here a question arises: can you be wrong after thinking critically and observing? The answer is yes. Now, look at look at this thing this way, that if you are learning a skill, for example, video editing, so you won't make a great edit just after watching some tutorials or just after even practicing it for even a month. You will need time. The same happens with thinking, that it will take a lot of time to think. Now we switch to the deepest form of thinking. Number 2, writing. Many writers got panicked and worried about this thing called ChatGPT, and this thing is understandable. But here's the thing, that a true writer is someone who can think critically, who can form opinions, who can give society what it needs. And the most important thing is creativity. And I think if you are a true writer, no one is going to replace you. And if you are worried and panicked, you must learn AI. I'm not saying if suppose I am a writer, I write, so I'm not neglecting ChatGPT or ignoring AI just because I think that I am creative or ChatGPT will stop me to be creative. And that can happen to many writers out there, that ChatGPT can really stop them to think creatively. Now we switch to the deepest form of thinking. Number 2, writing. Now before going ahead or telling you what writing is and how to write, I want to tell this one thing. Typing is not writing. Now pay attention here, that writing is taking your pen and paper and write on the paper. And typing is taking out your phone and type about different things. So taking out your laptop and typing these things. Now you may say that, Shishir, what you are talking about, if I want to write, I will open my laptop and write. It means you are typing. Now answer me, are you typing or writing? Of course you are typing. Why I am emphasizing on this? Because I want you to write by your pen and paper, because it increases your creativity. It helps you to think. You let your pen flow. I'm not saying that always take paper and write on paper. I know if you are a freelancer or a content creator or a small business owner, if you want to write something, you always will write in your notes or Google Docs or in some other notes app. What I want you to do is take out at least 10 to 15 minutes and write on paper. And you will see the difference, that how the writing on paper helps you to shape your thoughts effectively. As I said, that these 4 skills works as a team and these are interconnected. That's why writing gives shape to the thinking, and that's why I said that writing is actually thinking in deepest form. Because when we are thinking various things at a moment, right? I'm thinking, and then again another thought popped up in my mind. Okay, I'm again thinking like this, and in that situation, for example, if I'm thinking this thing, another thought popped out. So I will leave these things and my attention will go to these things. And I may lose these things, which could be beneficial to me, but I lost it. And then I'll try to sum up all the things in my mind. And it's a good exercise, but when you write, so this thought, you just write about it. And then this thought, you write about it. Now, whatever your thinking is, you are putting on the paper, the different thoughts or the different words. And many times you will realize that when you are writing what you are thinking, writing gives solution to the problem you are thinking. While writing, you have that thought, okay, I should write this, okay, I should write this. Then there is a scenario where you will find the solution of the problem you are solving or you're trying to solving in your mind when you will try to write. The goal of the writing, according to me, is to make people understood the thing you are trying to write. Meaning, कि तुम जो लिख रहे हो वो उसका सिर्फ एक ही उद्देश्य होना चाहिए कि वो लोगों तक पहुंचे और लोग उसको समझ पाए. If you are writing and you are using some fancy words or some heavy vocabulary, it's not about the vocabulary or the fancy words or your English or even your Hindi. It's about, are the people or your audience are able to understand it or not? If they are, then you are doing the right job. So few tips when you are writing. In the first draft, I would suggest treat paper on which you will write. Treat that paper as a playground where you can play any shot, where you can play any dumb shot. No one is watching you. Meaning, write it like no one is going to read it. When I say this line, there is a quote I relate to, and that quote is that, who are you when no one is watching you? So the same goes with the writing. Write it like what no one is going to read. Now, why I said initially that it will help you in your life as well. Because here is the thing, when you write like no one is watching you, you may write the things you never said to anyone. You may write the things you are guilty of. You may write the things you are regretted. You regret doing that thing. You can write that. Now I ask you that, have you done anything wrong to someone? The answer may be yes or no. But if it's yes, have you ever said to someone, कभी किसी को कहा है कि तुमने वो काम गलत किया है? You never said it. We don't say it कि हमने गलत किया है. We don't even say it to ourselves. But when now it's you and your paper and pen, you may write it. Maybe while writing, जो तुम्हारे दिल का बोझ है वो हल्का हो जाए. Because you never met that person who did the wrong thing to someone. And of course that person is you, inside you. But you don't want to meet him. Meaning you don't want to hear those things. But when you wrote it, you forgive yourself. तुम अपने आप को माफ करते हो जब वो चीज़ें तुम लिख देते हो जो तुम खुद से कहना नहीं चाहते. किसी चीज़ को लेके पछतावा है, अगर तुम उस चीज़ को लिखते हो तो मतलब तुम उसको जानते हो, खुद के एक हिस्से को समझते हो जिसको तुम छूना नहीं चाहते, समझना नहीं चाहते, और वो चीज़ तुमको बेहतर बनाता है एक जिंदगी में. आप किसी चीज़ का गिल्ट लेकर नहीं चल रहे होते, पछतावा लेके नहीं चल रहे होते, क्योंकि अगर आप किसी चीज़ के पछतावे में हैं तो आपको हराना बहुत आसान होगा. क्योंकि शायद मैं एज अ कॉम्पिटिटर और एज एन ओपोनेंट ऑन द बैटल फील्ड, आई मे यूज योर regret as my weapon. आपका पछतावा ही मेरा सबसे बड़ा शस्त्र बनेगा जिससे मैं आपको हरा पाऊंगा. तो what you want to be, you want to be the strongest, मतलब ऐसा कि जिसको हराना इतना आसान ना हो, या ऐसा जिसका पछतावा या गिल्ट का यूज करके मैं हरा सकूं. It's not just about regret. It can be about anger or emotional. Many people are emotional and sensitive. Is it a good thing? It may be a good thing, but it's not a good thing when I'm using that sensitivity or your emotional side to use you or to defeat you. You must act strong in the battlefield. Not just act. You should be strong. And you become strong by meeting yourself or by understanding your personality. And thinking, writing helps you do that. That's why I said. So in first draft, write whatever you want to do. Write. No one is watching you. It helps you in various things. And don't just think about the structure or people would understand it or not. Just write. It's a playground where you can play any shot in any direction. Just play. Just write whatever you think. Skill number 3, reading. And before going ahead, my question to you is, do you read books daily? The answer is always no, because sometimes say that I don't want to read books. I don't need to read books. I think books are just, I don't have the nice book or the good book. There are lots of excuses which I see. But here is when you are acquiring the skill of thinking and then you're writing about it. Now here comes the second part, reading. As I said in the writing part, that you are playing on the playground when there is no one. But when you are reading, there are other players in that playground and they are playing the same game and they have been playing for the last so many years and you are just entering into the game, meaning the thing you are solving or the thing you are thinking and writing, there are other people who have thought about this already before you. I'm not saying that you must stop thinking about themselves, but I'm about the problem. What I'm saying is you must read those people. For example, you took an entrepreneurial problem for the business owners or some AI, you are taking artificial intelligence as a problem for a specific reason because you are considering as a problem and you thought about it, you wrote about it. Now it's time to read about it by the other writers or the leaders or the entrepreneurs who wrote about it. And that's how you will learn. That's how you will learn that problem for different perspectives. That's how you will understand the playground or the picture or the problem as a big picture, as a broad picture. Because you are just a 20-year-old kid entering into this playground, into the world. And people and the smart people out there who have written books, articles, the long articles which will take you around half an hour, 1 hour to read. You must read those articles to understand what's happening around that specific problem. This is how you go deep. This is how you think critically, then write it and then read it. So what you need to do is read their books and articles. Focus on the words. Focus on how they are crafting this line so that you can learn how to write, but along with it, you will learn how they are thinking because they wrote it after thinking, of course. So how are they thinking? You are not just reading that book. You are reading the person who wrote it. You are understanding that why he used this specific word. Why is he using these paragraphs like this? What things he is adding? You are learning writing, thinking, and reading at the same time. Pro tip, if you really like some writers or the words or the stories they have written, you get impressed by them. So I would suggest you to take pen and paper and their book and hand write the exact same word from the book. Meaning, उनका हर एक वर्ड कॉपी करके अपनी कॉपी में लिखो, अपनी नोटबुक में लिखो. एक एक वर्ड, हर एक लाइन, हर एक वर्ड विद द कॉमा एंड एवरीथिंग, उसको हर पन्ने को लिखो डे बाय डे, because it will help you to think and it will make you a better writer. Now you may say that, Shishir, are we copying someone? I don't want to be a copy paste of someone. So I'm not telling you to become the another version of that specific writer, but I'm telling you this. If you want to be a great writer, you must know how to think like a great writer. And if you have a book by some great writer, you can easily think like that great writer by writing the words he wrote. Of course, you are imitating, but here is the thing you should follow. Imitate and then innovate. You will imitate, but then you will innovate. And how you will innovate? You will think again after, because you thought about the specific problem, you wrote about the specific problem, now you read about the specific problems, and now you will play another shot. You will think again because now you have various things in yourself. You will write again because now you have read specific things. You have a lot of things to share. Now you can again read it. Now the last skill is speak. You may think that if I can think effectively, if I can write effectively, if I can read effectively, I can speak effectively. Now these all three things helps you, but speaking is a bit different game because you are not writing like no one is watching you. You are not reading in a room when no one is watching you. Here, thousands of people are watching you. So there are other technicalities, or I would say there are other things that you have to learn. For example, voice modulation. How you modulate your voice. It means, I wouldn't say that up and down. It means how you are modulating your voice. कहाँ ऊपर voice रखनी है, कहाँ नीचे रखनी है, और कहाँ बहुत आराम से पीसफुली बोलना है, और कहाँ पे आवाज को तेज करते ले जाना है धीरे धीरे, और कहाँ आराम से धीरे धीरे लाना है. I think this concept is called voice modulation, and we learn about these things while learning how to sing. But when you are speaking, you must know how to modulate your voice, and your modulation of voice is directly related to the words you are using. Because when you modulate your voice, you are trying to put emotion in that word. Now you are a writer, so you know how to craft the words. When you are a good speaker or a communicator, you have to communicate that problem or the values or the solution. And you have to communicate with the people through the voice modulation by putting the emotion in those words. In simple words, हर emotion के लिए अपनी voice को ऊपर नीचे रखना, अपने मैसेज को कहाँ पे पॉजेस देने हैं, फिर उसके बाद अपना मैसेज देना है, उस चीज़ को हम वॉइस मॉड्यूलेशन कहते हैं. इमोशनल टचिंग गैप. Because now here's the thing, you must give them time to process. Emotional touching gap, meaning that when you are speaking, so you should give the people time to process the things you just said. For example, अगर आप बोल रहे हो और आपने कुछ ऐसी complex बात बोली या ऐसी चीज बोली, I will need a moment to think about it. So आपको figure out करना है कि ये मैं बात जब बोलूँगा, so people would need time to process this thing, to understand these things. Because होता क्या है कि for example किसी ने कुछ बोला है, as an audience, I need few seconds, maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds, to understand these things, or to feel the things, or to feel those goosebumps if you are saying that specific thing. For example, you said something which gave me goosebumps, but you didn't stop there. You just switched to another topic or switched to another thing. So I won't be able to feel that goosebump. The silence is important. The pauses are important, but you have to learn how to give that pauses. Your eyes, your hands, your hesitation, fumbling, meaning eyes, eye contact. You have to make that connection with the people. You have to use your hands. You don't need to be hesitant. You should not fumble. And for in this video, I fumbled many times. I fumbled many times. And it's okay. This is how I'm learning. And I'm not saying that I am so good at thinking, writing, and speaking. I'm learning. I'm in the process. I always say I'm documenting these things. So I'm learning what things I observe, that how should I think or how should I create a framework to learn these things. I just share with you guys. I will be keep sharing. I will be keep documenting. Now these are all things. How these 4 skills helps you. What these 4 skills make you. ये चारों skill आपको सिखाती क्या है, आपको बनाती क्या है. It makes you articulate. Articulation with your words, with your thinking. Now what does this articulation mean? It means कि जो भी आप बोल रहे हैं, it's well articulated, it's well spoken, without any pauses, without any fumble, without any hesitant. What you are saying, that each word defines a specific meaning, which is really powerful, and you are speaking it like you are, playing with the weapons, because words are weapons. Your words will make you the strongest one. And not just your words, you must implement what you are saying. And if you can think effectively, you can act effectively, you can implement effectively. And that's what gives you power. That's what makes you more articulated, reading, writing, and thinking. But this skill, the articulation, it doesn't happen in just one day. It takes so much time. But once it happens, it really helps us. These skills will give you the ability to ideate. Now on YouTube or even the entrepreneurship world, we see everyone is copying and pasting. Copying and pasting. यहाँ का ज्ञान उठा के वहाँ पेल रहे हैं. इस बुक का लेख इस बुक में कहीं से पढ़ लिया and यहाँ पे YouTube वीडियो पे बोल दिया. So यही हो रहा है copy paste. I mean in the entrepreneurship world, they are just copying and pasting. But now when you can think, write and speak, you have that ability to ideate the different things, the authentic things. Now it will give you more courage. As I said, the courage to ask questions. It will give you more courage to do anything because you feel powerful. You know what question they will ask you. You know the question you want to ask. And now if you are learning, you may know lots of solution as well. You will learn how to craft the right words, which means you can easily learn how to do prompt engineering, because prompt engineering is about choosing the right word. It's about choosing or asking the right question, which gives you the specific result you want. And if you are a writer as well, you have that creativity, so you can put that creativity in those prompts. So you are already learning the AI, how to use AI. Of course, there are other technicalities which you have to learn, but the main thing is the ability to ideate, which you have. The main thing is to ask the right question, which you have. The main thing is to be courageous, which you have. You will form your own values and you will learn how to communicate those values. The people who excel at their lives, they know how to communicate my values. Because when I'm standing here or making a video, or I'm standing on a stage, or I'm in the business world doing some business, if I can communicate my value with my audience, I can do a lot of things. It means this switches to the second part, or the second thing. This switches, which means it switches to the next thing, which is telling stories. You will be able to tell the great stories. You will be able to write the stories, and when you can tell stories, you can sell easily. Not because of just the story, because of your communication ability, because of your ability to communicate your values. And now you have stories as well. And now you can form values, you can form logics, you can use logics to sales. In short, you will get better at the sales. At last, I just want to say one thing, that these skills take time. The problem is, not everyone pays attention to these skills. Not everyone wants to read for 1 hour. They just want to watch reels or some entertainment videos. They don't want to write on paper or just even type. They don't want to ideate. They want the quick solution. That's why they love ChatGPT. ChatGPT may give you the quick solution. But what I am here trying to teach you, or trying to show you, that You must learn how to ideate. You must learn identify the problems. You must learn how to think and speak. You must learn how to use ChatGPT effectively by learning how to ideate. And these things take time, and I'm learning it. So I thought about sharing it. Maybe after 3 or 4 or 5 years, when I'll become better at these things, I will again make this video and tell you that how I started. But right now, if you're watching this video, I want you to implement it. And if you have any problem, you can always comment, DM, or mail me. Thank you so much for watching this video.